Ladies and gentlemen, this is just insane. The SEC withdrew the prosecution against Ripple due to secret material that has come to light. Furthermore, the trial has officially ended, according to confirmation from the attorneys and Ripple's CEO. Pretty interesting, isn't it? However, analysts predict that the price of XRP Ripple coin might soar to $700 and beyond, making it even more intriguing. Quite awesome, isn't it? Let's do it one step at a time. Let's get right to the point without further ado. Disclaimer: the XRP community is finally seeing a ray of light after over 4 years of legal ambiguity. And it's not simply another train heading down the tunnel. The long-running, high-stakes conflict between the SEC and Ripple seems to be ended, and the cryptocurrency community is moving from defensive to determined. According to reports, Fox Business is getting ready to issue a formal press statement verifying the SEC's decision to drop the Ripple lawsuit, as Ripple Van Winkle stated that X has been following this issue since 2020 and that there is finally hope for a resolution. More than just legal closure is symbolized by that light. It represents a new beginning for XRP and an opportunity for the digital asset sector as a whole to start over. In a recent 1-minute series, Stuart Alderode, the chief legal officer of Ripple, gave an explanation of why the SEC abandoned its complaint in a significant section of the company's cryptocurrency. Alderode claimed that the SEC's enforcement approach was seriously defective from the beginning. "You must first explain what the law is before you can take enforcement action for breaking it," he said. Stated differently, the SEC proceeded with cases without providing clear regulations, creating a legal quagmire that left innovators in a state of uncertainty. By tweeting, "37 days left in court," Brett, a prominent figure in the XRP community, fueled the rumors. Hold off until the SEC approves the settlement for XRP. Time is running out, and self-assurance is increasing. According to some sources, the settlement is currently more of a formality than a risk. Ripple is hardly the only example of the SEC's retreat. Since January, when the political leadership in the United States changed, the government has withdrawn cases against Coinbase, Gemini, and other prominent cryptocurrency platforms. It's no accident. A more comprehensive strategic shift was indicated not only in courtrooms but also in Washington when Ripple's legal team spoke directly with Donald Trump and other lawmakers. Alderode added that Ripple will now try to clear up the mess caused by years of capricious regulation. A message that struck a chord with many in the cryptocurrency community. Entails advocating for laws that safeguard consumers, encourage creativity, and drive out dishonest players from the market. He emphasized the need for transparent, equitable, and implementable policy frameworks, and emphasized that the law must be explained before it is implemented. Another pro-XRP commentator, Steph, pointed out that following the Ripple discussions, SEC Chair Atkins is considering implementing more flexible regulations. It's bullish. In addition to the market, the regulatory corridors are also experiencing a shift in tone. Even people who were once afraid of the result now dismiss the past. Ito Farina was undiplomatic. Now the SEC complaint is moot. There is no security in XRP. The rest is simply noise. It's not simply XRP or Ripple owners who have won this battle. It's a boundary for the larger cryptocurrency community. In addition to being a leader in cross-border payments, Ripple is now positioned to influence future Web3 regulation in the US, thanks to its tenacity, legal clarity, and political ties. Now that the legal cloud has been lifted, Ripple is prepared to return its attention to relationships, business, and advancing blockchain technology. The army of XRP is on fire. The authorities are reorganizing, and the future appears clear for the first time in years. And encouraging. Crazy, huh? But don't worry, this is only the start. Top analysts are now forecasting a huge spike in XRP as a result of the SEC ultimately reversing course and Ripple recovering momentum. We are discussing figures that have the potential to demolish expectations. And believe me, you will be astounded by what they predict will happen to XRP next. As a result, the society is ablaze with audacious forecasts. XRP Dragon echoed the confidence sweeping social media by tweeting, "I'm ready for new XRP all-time high in 2025. However, that is only the beginning. Longtime token backer Steph didn't mince words. Purchase XRP here. Put your parents to retirement. Have fun with your life. This is more than just an investment for many members of the XRP army. It's a mission. Jack the Rippler then boldly predicted that XRP will reach $700 the following year. Some would find that absurd, but Crypto Geek upped the ante even more by setting a goal of $990 each XRP. King XRP went all out, announcing that the coin is expected to hit $10,000 per token. In a single sentence, Tony the Rippler encapsulated the sentiment. The creation of XRP for $10,000 was not an accident. Invest now or regret it later. However, let's temporarily apply the brakes. Is it possible for XRP to reach 100, 700, or 10,000? From the perspective of pure numbers, the problem is evident. The entire amount of XRP is somewhat less than $99 billion. The market capitalization of XRP would reach around $10 trillion if each token reached $100. This would be more than 5 times the present global cryptocurrency market capitalization and even greater than the market value of all the gold that has ever been extracted. For comparison, the current market value of Bitcoin is approximately $1.9 trillion. Therefore, if XRP reaches $100, it would not only exceed Bitcoin but also completely alter the size and composition of the global digital asset market. Although it would necessitate a drastic change in both market dynamics and XRP's tokenomics, that is not to suggest it is impossible. It would take a total market capitalization of $6.3 trillion for XRP to hit $100, even if supply were reduced to, say, 63 billion tokens. In that scenario, cryptocurrency as a whole would need to reach an astounding $113 trillion in order for XRP to account for only 6% of the market. Intriguingly, that would place the price of Bitcoin at about $3.4 million per coin, which is consistent with Vanex's long-term prediction for the cryptocurrency in 2050. Is it reasonable then? Not in the near future, most likely. However, history has demonstrated that cryptocurrency may defy expectations. Few people thought Bitcoin would ever reach $1,000, much less become the most valuable decentralized asset in the world 10 years ago. Furthermore, XRP has already demonstrated its tenacity in the face of constant regulatory pressure, price suppression, and doubt, anxiety, and uncertainty. Furthermore, the Ripple team is not merely awaiting price movement. They are actively changing the terrain, with their attention now turning to developing policies, growing international collaborations, and extending cross-border payment systems. It's possible that XRP will soon be at the epicenter of a far bigger financial revolution. Therefore, don't be too hasty to discount the community's optimism, even though $10,000 price targets may remain unattainable for the time being. Narratives are significant in crypto, and occasionally, when momentum and belief combine, the market moves in unexpected ways. And it's only going to grow more fascinating, because Ripple is secretly setting itself up to revolutionize global finance behind the scenes, in addition to winning court cases. Governments, big banks, and payment companies are beginning to use Ripple's technology. It's not hype. The market cannot afford to ignore this enormous positive signal. Therefore, Ripple's increasing integration into traditional finance, especially through remittance corridors, is one of the most obvious